What is going on? Welcome to the Royal Center podcast. Hope you guys are having a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are at, whatever time it is for you. Thank you for taking the time to drop in and give us a listen. Today we're going to talk about some Royals, of course, and the fact that we could possibly be buyers, but we'll talk about that later on. Let's go ahead and get today started with some questions that you guys, the followers, ask me, and of course, I'm going to answer them. Question number 1 comes from Brett McQueenie. He asks, pickles or cranberries? That question is definitely a no-brainer. Gotta go with pickles all day long because of the fact that they are so versatile. They can be sweet, they can be salty, they can be sour, they can be spicy even. Cranberries are just bitter. They're just bitter. That's it. The only time a cranberry is enjoyable to consume is when you're drinking a Sprite cranberry, and we all know it's Sprite cranberry season. Want to have a Sprite cranberry? Question number 2 comes from Brandon.B. He asks, any certain players you are looking/hoping the Royals pick up? Yes, I have a list of players that I would love to see the Royals pick up. I will go ahead and just list them off for you. I'd love to see the Royals pick up Whit Merrifield. You guys know I love Whit Merrifield. I'd love to see him back on the Royals. Not only that, but he had a great season last year. He batted .272 with 11 home runs, 67 RBIs, 26 stolen bases, with a 700 OPS in 145 games. That would be a great pickup for the Royals. I think just to have he can play outfield. He's very, very versatile. He can play anywhere on the field, and that would be a great veteran pickup for the Royals. Next would be Adam Duvall. He batted last year .247 with 21 home runs, 58 RBIs, and 834 OPS in 92 games. I think he'd be a great sneaky pickup. He's a veteran. He would be great in that outfield. I think he definitely helped the guys out there get a little better with that veteran presence that he has. And I don't think he's going to be on anybody's radar too much, and that would be a sneaky pickup for the Royals. One that I think is highly unlikely is Jorge Soler, former Royal. With the massive season he had last year, I don't see the Royals picking him up. But this would be one that I would love to see pick up. And again, another outfielder that would have a veteran presence, bring it with him. Last year he batted .250 with 36 home runs, 75 RBIs, and 853 OPS, and that was in 137 games. I think he would be a great outfielder to pick up. The only thing I would like to see him do is get those strikeout numbers down. He had 141 strikeouts. That's definitely one that I'd like to see get down a little bit. But we know with huge power comes a lot of strikeouts. That's just a known thing in baseball. But as long as he can get those down a little bit, he could be an amazing, great player. And especially he's coming off an all-star year. That's why I also think it's so unlikely that the Royals could sign him. And that is just one person that I'd like to see the Royals sign. This is highly unlikely as well. It's Nick Castellanos. I think this would be a great pickup for the Royals. This year he batted .272 with 29 home runs, 106 RBIs, 788 OPS in 156 games. He's also one that I'd like to see that strikeout number go down a little bit. He had 185 strikeouts. It's not as bad as it could be, that's for sure. But that is one player that I'd love to see the Royals somehow acquire. It's going to be one that is very difficult for them to acquire, but he would be great in that outfield and a great player to pick up for the Royals in general. So let's go ahead and move on to some pitchers that I would like to see acquire. The first one, there for a while, I thought it was really realistic. I actually had this one on a list about a month ago before he won a World Series. That would be Jordan Montgomery. I think he would be a great addition to that starting rotation. Last year, he didn't have a great record. He had 10 wins, 11 losses, but he had a great ERA of .320 with 48 walks. That's it, just 48 walks, 166 strikeouts, and 188 innings pitched with a 119 whip. That is the number that I like right there, is that whip. I think that would be just a great pitcher to pick up. Is it likely? Most likely not, solely due to the fact that he won a World Series. Once you win a World Series, your value goes up 10 times the amount that it was prior to that. So that's one that I don't see happening, unfortunately, but I would really like to see it happen. One that I feel like a lot of us kind of forgot about, but Michael Waka. He was great this year. He was really good this year. He was 14-4. That's 14 wins, 4 losses. He had a 3.22 ERA with only 43 walks, 124 strikeouts, and 134 innings pitched with a 116 whip. I think he's going to be going for the bank this year, but that would be a great player that I'd love to see the Royals pick up. He would definitely improve that rotation a ton. And that's one guy that would be sneaky, I feel like. Next and lastly, like I've already stated, I'd like to see the Royals pick up Lucas Giolito on maybe a league minimum contract. Last year he had 8 wins, 15 losses with a 4.88 ERA, 73 walks, 204 strikeouts, and 184 innings pitched with a 131 whip. I really like that strikeout number. That's a great strikeout number. But Lucas Giolito is one that I would like to see the Royals pick up. I feel like that could be an Aroldis Chapman type signing. We at least pick him up, turn him around, trade him off for something good, like how we got Cole Reagans. One thing, the reason why I'm listing off all these starting pitchers, which might be a little weird, we all think that we have our rotation as it is now. But the one thing that I like about our rotation is all those guys are able to be put into the bullpen if need be. So I definitely think that if we were to sign someone like Jordan Montgomery or Lucas Giolito and they turn around and have a great season, we could put a couple guys in the bullpen to be either long relievers. We need closers. We could turn them into closers. Anything like that. I would love to see us do something like that. Real quick, I'll go over some relievers that I'd like to see us pick up. I'd like to see Jordan Hicks or Will Smith and Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman is another one of those guys with the fact that he won a World Series. I think his value is going to go up 10 times the amount that it was. And I think we can say that that's on the Royals. The Royals single-handedly fixed Aroldis Chapman and helped him win a World Series. Depressed Royals fan asks, when does this team's contention window open up? I feel like there's several different answers you can give for that. I'll give you 2 answers. If we're referring to this team that we have right now, without trading for anybody, without acquiring anybody via signing, it could be, I'm going to say 3 or 4 years, realistically. Give it 3 or 4 years and we'll be in the playoffs by then. But if we go out and sign a few good guys, a few rotation guys, bullpen guys especially, we need that bullpen worked on very badly. I say give it a year, give it 2 years at most. This team is very good. With the record that we have this year, a lot of people don't realize how good our team actually was. Only those that watch them every single day could see how good this team actually was. And as one that did watch them every day, unfortunately, just kidding, but this team is very good, and I think they could go on a crazy playoff run soon. That is really soon, though. Question number 4 comes from Noah F415. He has kind of 2 questions right here. I put them both in here because they were both good questions. He also states, realistically, I do not see us spending any money. I think they will give the guys we have that got hurt another chance, but what would you like to see happen this offseason? Like I said, I'd like to see us sign some guys. I would like to see us sign some guys, some of the guys that I listed especially, but as long as we're trading for players or signing some players and we're realistically trying to actually win, I could see that happening. I'd like to see that happen. Also, if everyone performs, could you see a potential Arizona Diamondbacks turnaround season? Yes, that is a huge yes. That kind of follows my question number 3 about our contention window. Yes, I think if we all perform, if they all perform well, they all perform great, I think we could see an Arizona Diamondback turnaround season. That's for sure. Like I've said, this team is scary good. Just give us a few players and we could be crazy good. We're in the AL Central, so this is anybody's division. It'd take us 88 wins to win the division. I think it's one of them things. Once we get in the playoffs, I think we're going to go on a crazy, scary run like the Diamondbacks. All right, question number 5 comes from All Sports KC. He asked, will we actually make a big signing this offseason? Simple answer, yes. The reasoning, I'm going to wait till later on throughout the podcast to give you an answer, a full reasoning on why I can see us making a big signing this offseason. But I think it will happen. Question number 6 comes from, if you had to pick one to trade/move on from, who would you choose between Michael Massey, Nick Lofton, Simon Taylor, or Maikel Garcia? That one is a hard question because they all performed decently good in the major league level this year. Especially Maikel Garcia. He is most definitely our future third baseman. And Michael Massey, he is our second baseman. Like really gives between Nick Lofton and Simon Taylor. I'm gonna have to say that I'd have to see Simon Taylor go. Because Nick Lofton, I feel like, has a higher potential. In the few games that he played in this year, he was great. Don't get me wrong, Simon Taylor was not bad. I can't say he wasn't bad, but when I'm looking at this team, I feel like Nick Lofton, Michael Massey, and Maikel Garcia fit this team the most. The speed with Simon Taylor really fits the team, but everything else, again, respectfully, I don't think he fits the team the way the other guys do on that list. So that wraps up the questions for today. Let's go ahead and move on to a few different topics that I found interesting this week. My first topic kind of responds to question number 5. It gives you that reasoning for my answer on that. So let's go get right into it. So it was reported earlier this week that the Kansas City Royals inquired and tried to acquire Mark Canha. And boy, does that get me excited. That gets me really, really excited. Solely for the fact that means the Royals are trying to acquire good players. They are trying to become better. And, it didn't happen, but that doesn't mean that there aren't players like that we can try to acquire. And that I don't know why it gets me so excited, but it shows that they're trying to make moves to make the Royals better, and that is so damn exciting. And that gets me so excited for this offseason to see what the Royals actually try to do. And for that reason, I think that we could see a huge signing for the Kansas City Royals this offseason. I think that we could see a huge trade for the Kansas City Royals this offseason. I think it will happen, and I'm so excited to see it happen. And that gets me also really excited for the 2024 Royal season. With that being said, I could see us making several small moves, of course, like usual, but I could also see that coming along with some very big moves. And again, I can't tell you how excited that makes me. I can't begin to explain how excited I am for that. I hope you guys can hear it in my voice that makes me really excited. So earlier this week, fellow Royals Instagram page, Miserable Royals Fan, started a series. This series it's an interesting, cool series. It's where they do jersey swaps on what could be some good potential pickups this offseason. And on day 3 or post 3 of that series, they did one of Trevor Bauer. You might be thinking, what is so interesting about the fact that they made one about Trevor Bauer? It's the fact that the actual Trevor Bauer reposted it on his Instagram story. Not only that, that's not it. But earlier this week, it was reported by John Heyman that Bauer and his agent are meeting with teams trying to get Trevor Bauer back in the MLB. That is insane. That may not mean much at all. But I was looking at his Instagram shortly after that, and he made no other post similar to that. He didn't post anything else to a story similar to that. And the fact that he reposted that one gets me really excited, and it's probably just false hope. But that's really exciting because that could mean we could be getting a good pitcher. What do you guys think about that? I mean, is that someone that you'd like to see the Royals sign, especially with all the talks that follow him, all the old rumors and controversies around him. Is that something that you guys would be okay with the Royals acquiring while signing Trevor Bauer or not? Another huge deal this week was the fact that Bobby Witt Jr. was interviewed on a radio talk show and was asked about the possibility of a long-term contract extension, and this is what he had to say about that.
Obviously, you're property of the Royals for the next 4 years, if that's what they'd like to have. Has there been any conversations about extending you at this point? I know you leave that up to representation, but is there anything happening this offseason on that front?
Yeah, I think there's just some talks here and there, so we're just kind of waiting to see. And so I love this organization, love this team, but it's just kind of one of those things. If the time's right, the time's right. But just worrying about 1 year at a time. Nothing, like I said, just trying to take it day by day and trying to live in the present moment. And just if things happen to happen, we'll see.
Is there a right time for that? I mean, is it better closer to the end of your, start of your career? Is there any perfect answer to that?
I don't think there's truly an answer, but like I've been kind of saying, the ultimate goal for me really is just to go out there and win games, and so that's what I'm trying to do now on to 2024.
And just, I mean, you're your own man, right? It's your directive where you'd like to be. If the numbers were right, is this the organization that you would like to be with for at least a great big chunk past your initial free agency?
No doubt. That's what I tell everyone. This is an organization I got drafted by, an organization I came up with. They've all I've known, really. And so just being able to, the goal would be just to win a World Series for the city of Kansas City, for the fans, for everyone, just all the people that we've kind of came up with and everything. And that just makes things a lot more special. I feel like you can go out and kind of go whatever it is, if it's free agency, do something, but I think it just makes it feel a lot more special if you're able to do it with that team.
So that's exciting. It is exciting, but there is a but to that. I just didn't like, of course, maybe it just wasn't because he was allowed to talk about it, but he didn't seem like he wanted to answer that question when they asked him if Kansas City was where he wanted to be. He gave the answer that I feel like he'd want the fans to hear, but it didn't feel like an answer that he wanted. And maybe I'm just reading into it wrong, but he does say that he wants to win a World Series with us, and that's super exciting. I think we all want to see him win a World Series with us. He didn't seem very enthusiastic when talking about it, and that gave me a weird feeling. And of course, maybe I'm reading into it wrong. Let me know what you guys think. But I pray that I'm reading that wrong. But either way, he said that he does love the Kansas City Royals. He wants to bring us a championship. He wants to bring the city a championship, the fans a championship, the team a championship. And either way, that is still a big deal. Also, what was reported earlier this week by Ken Rosenthal was the fact that the Royals are open to and are entertaining an extension that could cost more than $200 million for Bobby Witt Jr. Yes, that's exciting. That means they are looking into doing that. The only thing that pisses me off about that statement is the fact that they use the words entertaining and are open to. You're telling me that we are seeing a once-in-a-lifetime talent and you're just open to and entertaining an extension? Why haven't we done this? Why haven't we locked him down? We know that we want him on the Royals. They know the fans want him on the Royals. They know that he wants to win a championship with the Royals, and they are just open to and entertaining it. That's it? I mean, I think that is such a dumb-ass statement by the Royals, the fact that they are just entertaining it. That word in that sentence pisses me off. It's the fact that they can't just say that we want him. We want him as a Royal. They can't just say that. And that's all us, the fans, want to hear. We want to hear them say that they want him to be a Kansas City Royal for his career, but they cannot tell us that. They can only tell us that they are entertaining an extension and are open to it. Tell me what you guys think about that. I mean, I just think that pisses me off more than I can explain. And I saw lots of fans getting excited about that statement, and I got excited about that statement. But then I read into it, and I started thinking, are you kidding me? they're just open to it. I mean, they're entertaining an extension. Why are they entertaining it? They have the $2 million. Just lock him down. Along with that, we're talking about the $200 million. If I had to guess, that $200 million, that number seems like it would be closer to an 8-year contract. I think that it should be a little more than that. He is a great player. I'm not meaning price-wise. I'm meaning year-wise. I think we should see about 10 years from him. And that's what I want to see as a fan. Will it happen? Again, it's just we're waiting on the Royals. I mean, we're waiting on the Royals for this. But they better do it soon, because they're going to start pissing off a lot more Royals fans. And I know we're already mad about it. A lot of us are already mad about the fact that we haven't extended him yet. But they better get it done soon. So let's move on. So one thing that I would like to do on each podcast is ask you guys, the followers, a question. And I'd like to see you answer it for me. So my question for you today is going to be, what is one player you'd like to see the Royals trade for or sign for this offseason? Go ahead and give me the names. They can be realistic. They can be unrealistic. They can be anything that you can imagine. Who would you like to see the Royals sign? I feel like this is going to give a lot of Shohei Ohtani comments. It's going to happen. We're getting Shohei Ohtani. I'm not even kidding. Maybe a little bit. But let me know who you guys would like to see the Royals sign or trade for this offseason. That is going to wrap up episode 2 of the Royal Center podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed what we talked about today. If you guys have enjoyed it, go ahead and let your fellow Royals fans know about it. I'm currently releasing this podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify, and I'm working on getting it to Apple Podcast, as you guys asked. Again, thank you for dropping in and giving this a listen. Hope you guys enjoyed. You guys have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are at, however you're listening, whatever time it is. Have a good one, and see you on the next one.